Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be solving the problem 9 to the power of 10 plus 9 to the power of 10 plus 9 to the power of 10. And for this problem, I actually have 4 option choices. So for A, I have 27 to the power of 30. For B, I have 9 to the power of 30. For C, I have 27 to the power of 10. And for D, I have 3 to the power of 21. So to first start out, let's go through all these option choices and see if they're right or not. So we first have A, 27 to the power of 30, and how this likely was resulted in was from adding all the bases and adding all the exponents. So we have 9 plus 9 plus 9 to the power of 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is equal to 27 to the power of 30. And this is actually wrong because this is not the proper way to add exponents. So now going from here, this was likely gotten, 9 to the power of 30, by keeping the base the same and then adding the exponents. And this again is wrong because this is not the right way to add exponents. Now we have 27 to the power of 10, and this was gotten from adding the bases, but keeping the exponent the same. And this again is wrong as well. That's not how you add exponents. Now 3 to the power of 21, which is by process of elimination the right answer, we're going to see how they got this. So we first start with 9 to the power of 10 plus 9 to the power of 10 plus 9 to the power of 10. And I'm going to factor out 9 to the power of 10. So I get 9 to the power of 10 times 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is equal to 9 to the power of 10 times 3. And now this is equal to 3 squared to the power of 10 times 3. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 3 to the power of 2 to the power of 10 is going to equal 3 to the power of 20. And I have this times 3 to the power of 1. So I simply just add the exponents. This is equal to 3 to the power of 21. Now, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and share this to any of your friends or family members. Alright, so in this problem, I have 5 to the power of x plus 5 to the power of x is equal to 7. So to start, I'm going to factor out 5 to the power of x from my left-hand side. So now I have 5 to the power of x times 1 plus 1 is equal to 7. Now 1 plus 1, that's equal to 2, so I have 5 to the power of x times 2 is equal to 7. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 2, so then these two cancel out, and I get 5 to the power of x is equal to 7 over 2. Now from here, I'm going to take the log on both sides. So now I have log 5 to the power of x is equal to log 7 over 2. Now if I have something in the form log a to the power of b, I can move this exponent b to the front. So it's going to equal b times log a. So in this case, I have log 5 to the power of x, and I can move x to the front. So now I have x times log 5 is equal to log 7 over 2. Now I'm going to divide both sides by log 5. These two cancel out, and I get x is equal to log 7 over 2 over log 5. Now if I have something in the form log a over b, this is equal to log a minus log of b. So in this case, I've logged 7 over 2, and I can rewrite that as log 7 minus log 2, and I have this over log 5. So now that this is all simplified, all we need to do is plug in the values of log 7, log 2, and log 5. So log 7 is equal to 0.8451. Log 2 is equal to 0.3010. And log 5 is equal to 0.6990. So I have x is equal to 0.8451 minus 0.3010. And I have this over 0.6990. So if we simplify all of this, we get that x is equal to 0.7784. Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of 4 is equal to 1. So I'm going to first start by subtracting 1 on both sides. So then these two cancel out, and I get x to the power of 4 minus 1 is equal to 0. Now x to the power of 4, I can rewrite this as x to the power of 2 times 2. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m times n, this is equal to a to the power of m to the power of n. So x to the power of 2 times 2, I can write this as x to the power of 2 to the power of 2. Now I have this minus 1 is equal to 0. Now 1 is the same thing as 1 squared. So I have x squared to the power of 2 minus 1 squared is equal to 0. If I have something in the form a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, a is x squared and b is 1. So I have x squared plus 1 times x squared minus 1, and this is equal to 0. Now, remember how now this is equal to, this actually gives me two equations. I have x squared plus 1 is equal to 0, and I have x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. So for x squared plus 1 equals 0, I'm going to start by subtracting 1 on both sides. So these two cancel out, and I get x squared is equal to negative 1. Now if I take the square root on both sides, the square root of x squared is x, and the square root of negative 1, if you guys already know, is I. So I have positive negative I. And for x squared minus 1 equals 0, I'm going to add 1 on both sides. So I get x squared is equal to 1. If I take the square root, I get x is equal to positive or negative 1. So that's 2 more solutions. So these are my 4 solutions to this problem. Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of x to the power of 10 is equal to 400. So to start, I'm going to rewrite 400. Actually, before that, I'm going to rewrite 400 as 20 squared. And now I'm going to take the power of 10 on both sides. So now I have x to the power of x to the power of 10 to the power of 10 is equal to 20 to the power of 2 to the power of 10. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is the same thing as a to the power of n to the power of m. So in this case, we can think of x to the power of 10 as m and 10 as n, and I can switch these two places. So now I have x to the power of 10 to the power of x to the power of 10. And also, if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So this is the same thing as 20 to the power of 2 times 10, which is 20. Now I'm going to let x to the power of 10 equal to the variable y. So now I have y to the power of y is equal to 20 to the power of 20. And a to the power of a equals b to the power of b. This means that a equals b. So y is equal to 20. Now remember how we let x to the power of 10 equal to y, meaning x to the power of 10 is equal to 20, and x is equal to the 10th root of